Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the MOP here on May 12th, Tuesday. Yes, for the power sports world, that means going back to work day. For all the rest of us, it's another day. Welcome to the MOP entitled Things Become Overwhelming. I don't think people understand sometimes what people are going through in their lives, what they deal with on a daily basis, and that sometimes people, no matter how hard they try, cannot get back to where, and I think it's just how we handle it differently now. I never got to the point where I was mentally exhausted. Maybe it's because I just pushed through it and then had a stroke. I don't know. Maybe it was to the point my body just said enough's enough and I just didn't listen and kept pushing. But if you are mentally exhausted and you struggle every day at the end of the day and you just don't want to do anything else, that's where I'm at today. I am at to the point right now that I am mentally just checked out. I don't know how to put it any other way. I'm just checked out. I have a ton of things to do. I have plenty of things to get done. That list never gets shorter. But I'm to the point of when it gets done, it gets done. I'm checked out. I try to get organized. I try to do things differently, and it just seems to go backwards. And it's not like I'm fed up with life in general. It's just that you get to the point of having to battle every day. Having to battle to push through every day. I literally could probably take a nap twice a day. And unfortunately, I would feel the same way no matter how I would do it. And most people with brain injuries will tell you that they feel the same way. I am very fortunate that I have all the movement back here. I'm very fortunate that I have what I have. Yes, the nerve pain. Yes, the numbness in the foot. The lack of fine motor skills with this hand, of able to feel things, is a pain in the ass. But it could have been much worse. And you're like, well, geez, Chris, be happy. But I am happy about that. But as we get bombarded by news medias, and then you hear, well, that's fake news or that's not right news. I looked at a post that I made a couple years ago, and it baffled me by the amount of people that are following this administration and the amount of name calling and derogatory things that are said to people like me, who, just because I do not agree with the President of the United States currently, I am labeled under some horrific titles. And you see people that post on social media, and it's not only just where their beliefs are. There's a whole bunch of people that barrage them with derogatory comments, nasty comments, just awful things said to these people about weight, about looks, about this, about that. You look at, there was a post yesterday, who's better, EJ or Belmo? Well, in my mind, you cannot compare EJ Tackett and Jason Belmonte. They're both bowlers. One is a two-handed bowler. One is a one-handed bowler. To me, Belmo will always be, in my mind right now, in my generational time, the best two-handed bowler of all time. Currently. And I'm not ever going to use, he is the best currently. There is a ton of them coming up behind of him. There is a ton of talented bowlers that bowl two-handed. But you watch the comments about Jay, and awful things said about two-handed bowlers. That they need their own league, that they need to be in their own divisions, they need to blah, blah, blah. And yes, the last pack, you look at the people that are winning on tour, that are there a lot, majority are, quite a few are two-handed. But then you have EJ, who's going to be probably go down, and his career hasn't been that long where he's been on top of it. I think 2012. So 14 years. I think at the end of that realm, you're going to look at him and go, probably one of the best one-handed bowlers of all time. But all the derogatory comments made. And now, because he hasn't won this year, the amount of derogatory comments made about how he can't finish things, he can't do this, he can't do that. I don't think people understand what it takes to go to the next level. I've seen guys that break records for averages in the year that can't go and compete on tour. They just can't. They're not mentally ready. They're not mentally in shape to do it. They're not physically in shape to do it. Yes, you broke the record for high average for the state or whatever it may be. Good for you. Great job. I mean, to do anything like that is still phenomenal. But to go and bowl where you are throwing 70 plus games in a week, especially on 4 different patterns, and you are in the top 5 in 2 of those, plus you're the number 1 seed for the World Series this weekend, means you are on top of your game. But yet there are so many people filled with jealousy and hate that they have to spread it. They spread it to everybody. I get it. And I'm not even, I have like 12 followers. I get a few listens here and there. Whoop-dee. I've always said it's not about 1 million subscribers, because I've seen what that gets you as well. All of these, when you comment on somebody that's got 1 million subscribers, like, oh, congratulations, this really looks good. And then all of a sudden you get, well, Sarah DD likes your post. And it's, it's not a real person. So your 1 million subscribers really is very little. You've got probably 10%, I'm sure, or more, that are fake, that are not actual accounts. They're just trying to ride along and get other people information. Why is it? Why is it that when people succeed and they move to the next level, people are not happy? They need to tear them down. Ryan Rash, judger of livestock in he's a huge, infamous judge of livestock, and he is well known, and he's flamboyant, and there is no doubt you know who Ryan Rash is if you've seen him. If you look him up as a cattle judger or a livestock judger, you know who he is. He is a huge Trump supporter. He tears people down as far as that goes. He made a valid point the other day, though, when I read what he wrote. See, I do keep up on, even if they are MAGA or whatever else, and they tear people down with name calling. But yet, why is it when we go to events like that, that people are not cheering, people are not happy, because other people are winning? See, if your kids are involved, people seem to even get more protected. I saw a post of a friend of mine here in Richland Center. Great family. Lots of kids, great family. They are all community involved. They were at a soccer tournament. Her daughter, who is 11, I believe, age is irrelevant, where parents, and it was on a boys team, I guess, or whatever, and good for her for being that good. You can do that. And she was playing. But people were saying so many derogatory things that she wanted out of the game. And then parents and things like that were talking about that before. See, I had that happen to me in Little League. I was pitching once, and a gentleman was saying very derogatory things to me or out loud about me and how I couldn't hit the strike zone. I couldn't do that. Well, that didn't take long to fire my mom up. And my mom went over and let him have it. Why is it that we have to do that? Why is it that we have to bully kids? Parents have to do it as well to make their kids look better. Or they make them try to look better. You make them look really pathetic when you do that. You make your family look worse, I guess. We should be cheering people on. Have you ever noticed that, like at state bowling, it was such a riot? We had one team that was really, really good, and they were good. They bowled well. You could still high five with them. You could still do things with them, and cheer them on. Why do people get so serious about it? I get the pros. That's their livelihood. I get totally understanding why they don't high five after, except last night I watched as Packy went for his 300. Jesper went for a 300 last night. Packy won it 2 nights ago. Jesper went for 300 last night against Chris Vi. And he shot 299. Hugs, everything else. Congratulations after. That's what sportsmanship's about. See, this whole Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark and yada yada stuff goes on. Drives me nuts. Of why somebody deserves what they get. Why doesn't somebody deserve that? To me, I watch basketball sometimes because of Caitlin Clark and what she can do. But I watch the Fever because that team is relentless. And yes, they lost to, I think, Dallas the other night. But both teams scored in 100. That was the first time ever in a WNBA game where both teams scored 100. Why do parents feel it is necessary to be derogatory in where they're thinking, I am supporting my child by belittling so many others to make my kid look good? It's sad. But I think in human nature, it is just what we do. I think people do it so they feel better about themselves, even though it makes you look like a complete jackwagon. Why are we not supporting kids and happy that kids, if they're playing against you, just shush it. And when your kid does great, make sure they know it. But you don't have to sit and belittle somebody else playing against your kid. That just doesn't make sense to me. I don't get it. I am competitive when I get onto the bowling alley. I don't talk a lot because it takes a lot of pressure for me and thought just to keep everything in line. And I don't think people understand what some people go through to perform in these environments. I have a lot going on in my head to make sure I'm standing in the right spot, to do everything else, to make sure, the foot I don't feel real well is at the foul line when I need it there. So because of muscle memory, I do well. But yet to cheer against people and to belittle people and to want to just show how nasty you are to support your kid is ridiculous. And it's now getting that way to where no matter what side you believe on for politics or whatever, people start belittling each other. So if I disagree with what's going on right now, due to the fact of whatever it may be, I am labeled under the baby killing tax or whatever, which nobody I want to steal guns too. I own guns. Why would I steal them? I think there needs to be other thoughts and things about it. But just because I disagree with what's going on and I'm upset about paying $4.40 a gallon for fuel right now, makes me in a different tax bracket, makes me in a different loser bracket, whatever you want to call it. Just because I disagree. That's the part I struggle with. It's pretty sad that we can't support one another. And it just, obviously it takes too much energy to be positive. You know, they always say it takes less muscles to smile than it does to frown. Well, I think it takes a lot less energy to be supportive and positive. Obviously, because people don't want to use the energy to do that. They would rather be negative all day. So, with that said, have a great day. It's sprinkling here in southwest Wisconsin. It's going to be rainy today, cold. Farmers around here have pretty much all the fields in. There's a few wet ones yet, but they're all asking for rain now too. So with that said, take time to bless somebody today. My mom's chamois for her tournament are ordered. They are paid for. Thank you to Mindrum Construction. He donated the money for them. Mark did. I totally appreciate that. So the Alzheimer's chamois have been ordered. I'll have them in a month. So I'm looking forward to that. I slowly am working on this tournament to make it the best one yet, and we'll go from there. But yeah, 24 chamois will be available to purchase at $22 a chamois. All that money will go to the Alzheimer's Association. So, again, thank you to Mark Mindrum and Mindrum Construction out of Tennessee. I appreciate that for the purchase. And also to DH Lab Bowling, who is making the chamois. They are by far the superior chamois on the market today. I use one. I absolutely love it. Takes all the oil and everything off the ball, does a great thing. So, and then we'll go from there. I believe Motive Bowling's going to be supplying a ball. Storm will be providing one. And a few other businesses will be providing them too. So we'll go from there. As of now, our teams are full. Lane sponsors are full. I am down to, I need 4 businesses to spend $200 a piece, and I will have the bowling balls I need for the raffles, and all that money will go to the Alzheimer's Association as well. So, have a great day, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow morning with another edition of the Mop. We'll go from there. We'll get to hump day tomorrow somehow. And remember, you're not promised today. Make it the best you can. And, again, take time to bless somebody. Have a great day.